Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. This is Anonymous T. Hope you're having an amazing day today. So today we are talking some Matt Barnes, who's a former NBA player who's now has a podcast with Steven Jackson called All the Smoke, as well as he does some guest spots on ESPN, as well as sometimes working still for his former team, the Sacramento Kings, every so often. However, this again has to deal with his off-the-court shenanigans. So before I play what the latest shenanigans are, let's take a trip down memory lane, right? Let's take a trip down memory lane where Matt Barnes, as you guys famously remember, they were former teammates on the Lakers, had a friendship at one point in time. However, remember the alleged fight that took place 8 years ago, you guys. 8 years ago. Remember that? Remember that fight? So that was the fight that happened because that was the first time his twins that he has with his ex-wife Gloria, who was on Basketball Wives, had called their father apparently because I think it was a new relationship. I think it was new of when Gloria and Derek had started dating, and Barnes allegedly got in the car and drove up to Derek Fisher to fight him. However, some people are saying allegedly that it's a little bit exaggerated in terms of what actually took place and what the real true story is. But it wasn't about, even though Matt's claiming it's not about his ex-wife, it's about his ex-wife. But basically he's trying to make it seem as though, Derek's around his kids without telling him. But technically, your kids already knew Derek Fisher. It's just that they knew him as Uncle Derek Fisher, and now he's stepdad Derek Fisher. But they knew who he was because you guys were friends, you guys were teammates, all your guys' kids, hang out together. So it wasn't like, oh my gosh, who's this man? So there's that. He was more so upset that Derek was in a house that, he was with his ex-wife with, and also with his kids or whatever. And so allegedly the hatchet was supposed to be built, was supposed to be buried in 2018. This was supposed to be, over and done. Everybody was going to be cordial now. The kids are older, so there's no need for all this beef, right, you guys? So the reason that Matt Barnes squashed this beef with Derek Fisher is because his kids now have grown to really like Derek Fisher, and they think that he's good for their mother, and they're spending a lot more time with Derek Fisher. And at that point in time, things were getting serious. Him and Gloria were engaged. They were about to get married at the time, so they wanted their father, Isaiah and Carter wanted their father to lay off the Derek insults, to lay off the Derek shade, and just squash whatever it is and just be mature adults for the children. Except for we're talking about Matt Barnes, you guys. We are talking about Matt Barnes, who always holds a grudge, who always wants to get his jabs in, and likes things messy. So, we, fast forward, because, quote, this is what Matt said about what his sons told him. He said, quote, "My boys really took a liking to him and said, 'Daddy, we want you and Derek to be friends and that he's a good guy.'" So, yeah. So, there's that. But we need to get to what is taking place now. We need to get to what is really going on now. Because Matt Barnes' twins have a podcast. They have a podcast where they discuss what's going on in sports. They discuss what's going on in celebrity news and gossip. However, there was a segment in their recent podcast that was a little messy, and we're going to play the clip now that we've kind of set up the history, right? So we're going to play this clip, and then we're going to react.
Speaking of Kanye, he just dropped out of Coachella. He was about to bring Travis Scott in, but now they're both out. Carter, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I understand why he dropped out because, you know, he's going through a divorce, all that paperwork. I don't know what paperwork is like because I've never done it before. And the Pete Davidson situation. Yeah, we've heard about that.
Oh, yeah, and Kanye, if you ever need someone to roll up on Pete Davidson, my dad has a good history about that, so if you ever need one, just get at your boy. You know what I'm saying? He got you.
Indeed, he does.
Indeed, he does.
Barnes twins that he shares with ex-wife GLORIA GOVAN, and basically throwing shade, saying that if Kanye needs anybody to roll up on somebody, roll up on Pete Davidson, that they can call their father. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part actually was whoever edited it, which I'm guessing was likely his father, puts up a picture of Matt Barnes and a picture of Derek Fisher and puts like one of those comic book pows over his face. So I'm just wondering, how did we get from squashing the beef in 2018 to now 2022 resurrecting the beef and throwing shade again? And not to mention your ex-wife, she's recently married to Derek Fisher. They just built a brand new house. And here's the thing. This isn't just going to affect Derek Fisher, because I'm sure even if he does feel a certain type of way, he's mature enough not to go back and forth with the press and start drama, right? But now you have to factor in that the twins also have step siblings. So it's more so about the fact that little jabs like this, little jabs about some other people's kid's father, probably not the best thing to do, right? Because ultimately, these are still your twin step siblings. That's still their father, and this is now your twin stepfather. So I'm just wondering what the motive this was, other than to get people talking, other than to get your name back out there in the news, because this was completely unnecessary, and the blame has to go with the parent, right? Because ultimately, you are the person who oversaw the podcast, who edited in different things to be shady, to be messy, and everything else. You're up here doing a press tour saying everything's all good. You and Derek Fisher are friends again. You guys squashed the beef. You guys are going to each other's houses for whenever it's the twins' birthday to celebrate and do the co-parenting thing. But then you pull something like this. So this isn't a good idea, Matt. And don't use your kids to try to flip the narrative and try to be messy like this. Completely and utterly unnecessary. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.